Hello, this is Howie here at Cedar Creek Homestead. Hope you're doing fine. I want to say this video today is just a little update about what's been going on here at the homestead, what we got going on. And one thing, we got lots of mud. It's muddy. We have had so much rain. It's going to show you these pretty eggs we got here. And I've been getting about 15 to 20 eggs a day. As you can see, it's cold this morning, and we're still winter time, but spring's slowly coming on. As you can see, the water, some still standing there, and it froze. So this morning was down to 30 degrees. It's just been being right around freezing. It actually got down below freezing, and the ground's froze. But I apologize for not doing videos. We have just been so busy. We haven't had time to, my business has been really going. It's also tax time, so we're trying to get our taxes done, and all the chickens are carrying on. Everything's excited today. But it's going to show you a little something here, what kind of an update of what we got going on the homestead. I'm doing some new fencing, and this used to be pens all the way down through this area. My dad had me some pens built. We had a couple of dog pens built here, a man did, and for my birthday one year I started raising pheasants. And for my birthday one year, way back when I was probably 13, 14-year-old, I come home one weekend. I'd went and stayed at a friend's house, and when I come home, my dad had chain link pens built, and I had more than just these two. They was all the way down through here, and I've been tearing this out because these old pens have kind of fell apart. Now this one ain't too awful bad. We used to have tops on them, and these two that have slabs, we actually kept bird dogs. We quail and pheasant hunted, stuff like that. Well, the quail, there just ain't any quail left around here anymore, and you have to go out in western Oklahoma to hunt pheasants, and if you don't have land leased or really know somebody, it's kind of hard to find a place. So we quit all that. But anyway, I'd raise pheasants here just for fun, and I would sell them and trade them and do stuff with them, you know, that way, if and just mostly for fun. But I would feed the pheasant stuff, and I had individual pens down through here, all the way down here to the end. I had other pens built out here. Well, after I left home here, they just all got grown up with bushes, and this was just a big old mess. So I've kept cutting and poisoning and got the bushes cleaned out finally. And this wooden thing here I built as a compost pile, but I'm going to take it out and totally redo it. It's worked good, but it don't look the prettiest, so I'm going to kind of clean everything up. But I've been cutting these old chain link poles out, and I took the tractor on this here and dug the poles out and concrete out, and I'm doing the same right here. And then I'll bring the tractor in, clean it out, get all this cleaned up, and I put these new posts, wood posts, down through here. And I'm going to put that 2x4 wire that they call horse fence, no climb horse fence, down through here. And I'm also going to put down towards the bottom chicken wire up about 2 foot high, that woven mesh, and put a brand new fence down through here. So all this is coming out, and I'm going to have a new fence, and even seriously considering building new pens down through here, and actually put a top out that'll connect to there and have it sloped, and have individual little pens down through here where I could put baby chickens or turkeys or whatever. Now that might not get done this year, but I definitely want to get that fence up. And then I'm gonna come to here and turn. I put some an old bale of hay that was kind of rotting in here on top of my mulch, and I'm letting it rot down. But anyway, I'm gonna redo this, and I've got other ideas I'm gonna do. But anyhow, I'll have the fence come over. I'm probably going to take this old post out and put a square post here, make it look good, and come over and tie in to this. And this old gate right here, I have spring loaded. I actually have a safety chain where you can chain it, because my cows are out here. I don't want them getting into my garden. And so I've had that old spring on there that helps keep it pulled shut. You might wonder about this old gate. This gate was my dad made probably about the time I was born. So it's probably at least 50-year-old. And he welded these hinges on, and I had to fix that one. It's kind of broke up, but this was the gate we used when I was a boy. And what this wire stuff is there's a rock crusher up here by our home. And what a rock crusher is, they dynamite rock, big huge boulders, and they put them down through these deals that turn, and they grind and pulverize the rock. And you have screens like this one would let stuff that size fall through, or smaller. And then you have other screens that will drop it out at other sizes, and until you get plumb down to what they call screenings, which is little bitty gravel. And they built the dam, and most of the foundations around here were used out of that place. It's closed down now, but they would change these old panels out every once in a while and get rid of them. So they just throwing them away, and my dad brought one home and cut this here and made a gate out of it. I did have two of these gates, and but this one's what we used to get in the garden when I was a boy. So I put this cross tie post up and nailed it to this old telephone pole and reused that gate, and it's just kind of sentimental. But anyway, all this here, I'm gonna come out over to here and go down and build a whole new fence around my entire garden. I have trouble with the rabbits and stuff getting in, and even the chickens want to fly over here, but you can clip their wings and slow them down. But it's hard to, the rabbits, if they find any little old spot. But this used to be rabbit proof, this old garden. And but anyway, you can see this old chain link fence. It's seen its better day, and it's coming loose down at the bottom and stuff. So I'm gonna tear it all out, and I'm working on it slowly. It takes time, but I've really done quite a bit to it here. Also, I got my garden broke up. I bought a breaking plow for my tractor about 10 years ago, and I never have gotten it out here and used it. And for one thing, in the spring it gets so wet and I'll wait too late. Well, this year we had a little dry spell for 3 or 4 days without any rain, and I got out here and really turned this over. The first year I used it, I hired a man. He ended up not charging me anything, but I hired a man to break it up real good, and it seemed like that was my best garden year about 12 years ago. So I thought, I'm gonna really turn this over. We also have trouble with them old squash bugs, and we have a little trouble with cutworms. So I thought, well, I'll come in here and really break it up good. And you can see how deep I went this way, a little swath when I was coming out of here, just to kind of break this down. And also, in case we had a big rain, this would kind of dam up the dirt to keep it from all washing away. I'm sure some would wash away if we got a big, sometimes this time of the year we might get 4, 5, 6, well, we've even had 10 inches of rain before in a short amount of time in the spring. And we've been really, really wet, and I think our wet is still yet to come. So I still got to get in here and get her broke up and run the tiller over it and get started. But right now I'm leaving it turned up like this. And some of the old timers around here would spade their garden, and they'd just take a shovel. In fact, I had a man used to pay me to spade up his garden, and he took a shovel to it and went over the entire garden and would turn it over in the fall. And then during the winter, when it got cold, he claimed that it killed the bugs and it also helped the soil. So I know there's a lot of no-till farming going on and stuff, but they use Roundup and all kinds of chemicals, and I don't use that stuff here in my garden. So I want it as natural as I can. So I've turned it over super duper good, and I'm hoping that helps the garden this year. But that's another thing we got going on besides building fences. I've got all my tomato cages down here. Got my watering pipes, my T-post. I've took everything out of the garden and getting it all done. I'm even planning on putting a new fence down through here, the whole entire garden, but I may not get it all done this year. I got to get this one section done here, because right now as I'm tearing it down, the chickens and stuff can just come in and do, you know, I don't want them in the garden, and the cows, if I was to put them in this lot, they would come in here. So anyway, kind of cleaning up around the place, doing some spring cleaning and spring straightening and getting ready for get the garden planted. Probably 2 or 3 weeks away. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on here at Cedar Creek Homestead. Just a little update for you, so you kind of wonder. And me and my wife, we're doing fine, and our son, we've not had no sickness or nothing serious happen. And some of you have been concerned, so I thought I'd do a video. I'm going to get back to trying to do a video. Probably start doing, I'm thinking about just uploading a video on Tuesdays and Fridays at least, and try to update a little bit here on what's going on the homestead. And I was doing a porch talk, and I don't know if I'll keep doing that. You know, if you're retired and ain't got nothing better to do, I guess I could do that all the time, but it seemed like being tied down to having to do a porch talk, and I may do some porch talks coming up here. I was going to show you our fruit trees. This pear tree here, starting to get some little buds on it. It's not near time for it to come out, but some of the fruit trees, the apples down there and stuff, they're starting to get little buds, and they're ready to wake up here, but we don't want them to yet. We still got a little time, but spring's coming on here in eastern Oklahoma. And hey, I appreciate you watching. God bless you. We're gone.